Welcome back to Ange United for another episode of Hammers Heroes. Today I'm bringing to you a player that was definitely forgotten at his time when he was at West Ham. He was a youth prospect. He was a great prospect at the time, and we all are very aware of what the players at West Ham have produced over the years. You can name them very, very easily, but this player in particular might not have, be able to, for the youth or some of the older fans, but for me particularly, because he was a player that came in through my era. His name was Matthew Rush. You can see here he was not scared to go and chuck himself at a ball and score goals, etc. He was a pacey winger, strong and capable of goals like that, in particular against Ipswich Town. We'll come on to that goal and that era of a West Ham player. But interestingly enough, Matthew Rush started his career at West Ham when he was 11. But like I said to you, he had more interest in a career in potentially aviation. But for him, his talent in football carried him forward to get a professional contract with West Ham. He made his debut for West Ham against Hull City, where West Ham beat Hull City 7-1. A few promotions and relegations in the early 1990s. And unfortunately, under Billy Bonds, Matthew Rush really wasn't favoured, because it seemed to be Billy Bonds was more interested in a lot more experienced players than the youth players at the time. So, I look at that goal there. I was actually at that game against Southampton, and I just think to myself, he made that goal from start to finish and found himself in space, and that's something he always did. Back onto the topic though, he actually, under Billy Bonds, didn't really get more of a chance. So he was actually shipped out on loan, went to Cambridge, Oldham, Northampton, and eventually when West Ham released him when he came back in 1995, he went to Norwich City. Harry Redknapp came into the side. And as you can see here, during that era when Harry Redknapp was in the side, he gave him a run of games and he'd done quite well. But unfortunately, his career didn't massively work out. He played over 50 games for West Ham, scoring 5 goals. And then obviously this goal against Tottenham was one of those goals. Fantastic goal he scored against Tottenham. Unfortunately, that goal at Tottenham wasn't enough to give West Ham a victory, but scoring a goal against Tottenham, especially at White Hart Lane, always went down in history for a West Ham fan. He scored 5 goals, like I said to you before, 1 against Ipswich, 2 against Norwich City, 1 against Southampton, and 1 against Tottenham. But he was one of those players that could have been, and it was disappointing that he didn't get a longer career at West Ham. He retired at the age of 28, and he married a fashion director, and his daughter that he had with his fashion director wife was a young aspiring tennis player. So Matthew decided to move across to Barcelona and support his daughter at a tennis training academy. And from what we understand, she's actually doing really well in her tennis career and has managed to win quite a few youth tournaments. So maybe she's one for the future, maybe she's one for Wimbledon, we never know. But Matthew Rush, maybe, what could have been. Hope you're really enjoying these videos. I really, really hope you do. It's actually really, really great fun looking back at players, whether we followed them, but you should know your history, and the whole point is if we can just bring a little bit of that information to you, then we hope you're enjoying it. Get your comments in below, let us know your thoughts on Matthew Rush. Do you remember him? Were you at any of those games where he scored the goals? Let me know your thoughts on the Hammers Heroes series that we're doing, letting you let us know any players you want us to look into, and we'll do some videos on them in the coming months. And really hope you're enjoying them. I'm Anton, we're Ange United. Come on, you Irons.